Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm 𝙎𝙬𝘎𝘎. In the mid-19th century, the American political landscape was dominated by two ruling systems. The Whig Party was one, often seen as the successor to the old Federalist Party and the predecessor to the modern Republican Party, and the Democrats were the other one, dominated by the Southern warhawk style of Andrew Jackson. In this episode, let's explore a man who would serve as the 11th President of the United States and the last President of that first-era Democratic Party of Jacksonian ideals, a man by the name of James K. Polk. Polk was born in 1795 from the state of North Carolina. In this time now, presidents typically rose to office either from military fame or from success from the practice of law, and for Polk it was the latter. After studying and practicing law, he rose up the political ladder during the presidency of Andrew Jackson. Now, during the presidency of Jackson's successor, Martin Van Buren, Polk served as U.S. Speaker of the House. In the presidential election of 1844, Polk was nominated on the Democratic ticket against the incumbent Whig President John Tyler. Polk defeated Tyler to begin his term in 1845. Now, one of Polk's most important accomplishments in office was the establishment of the northern boundary of the northwestern United States along the border of Canada to sit on the 49th parallel. The treaty was signed with Great Britain amid tensions between the two nations, but Polk managed to get it signed in 1846 without the outbreak of war, and to this day, the 49th parallel marks the northernmost boundary of the U.S. west of the Great Lakes. Now, speaking of war, Polk's term was also influential in the formation of the southern U.S. border. Unlike in the North, war did break out in the South with the outbreak of the Mexican-American War. But after 2 years and an American victory, Mexico gave up large portions of land that would become the southwestern United States. For two reasons, Polk neglected to run for a second term. The first reason was his belief that it would actually help the Democratic Party as a whole, but the second was his declining health. And sure enough, later in 1849, the same year that he left office, Polk passed away at the age of 53. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History. For more historical content, subscribe and click that bell to get notifications for when our next Moment in History comes out. Until next time, I'm 𝙎𝙬𝘎𝘎𝘎.